start? Are you
Hello,
going to start?
team. I'm so excited to announce a new series that we are doing until all the way through January. We have the best lineup. You're going to love it. So it is a sales series, and it's going to be from the number one state sellers in each state. And you guys, there were so many in Team Nailed It that seriously, our team trainings are booked out through January. It's so exciting. So we're going to all become rock star sellers by the end of the year, because we're going to be learning from all these amazing women, including Bethany Hart, who has joined us today at 3 a.m. her time, you guys. She's joining us from England because she was the number one seller in military posts and U.S. territories. So her family's in the military. Is it your husband?
Yes.
Okay. And so she earned number one in sales for that category. And so she was so sweet to wake up at 3. Did you even go to bed? I need to know.
I went to bed I went to bed around 10, so I went to bed for like a few hours. But I woke up like every hour and a half, paranoid that my alarm wasn't going to go
Oh
off.
my
So
God.
it really didn't benefit me much,
I hope
honestly.
you did that. So you guys, you all need to give her a big thank you for hopping on at 3 a.m. and sharing some of her secrets. You guys, tonight we're going to be talking about getting creative when you hit roadblocks. Now, we didn't say if you hit roadblocks, it's when, because you will hit roadblocks, and that's just life, and that's just sales. And so really learning how to work with those and pivot. And so I'm just going to let you take it away, Bethany. And we're going to chat for the next 30 minutes. Now, will you kind of start off with your Color Street journey before you dive into this training?
Sure, absolutely. So I actually came across Color Street from a friend of mine who was having a party, and at first I was like, oh God, another one of those things that's going to pop up on my Facebook all the time. Like I already have 75 pairs of leggings. Like I don't need another one of these groups. And I was in Japan at the time at our last base. And I had always had my acrylics done, always. And it's super expensive to get them done there, which is why she had added me to the group to try it. And so I ordered a couple packs just to help her out and to see, if they were any good. And actually, Rachel Snyder was the one who was running the party, and I think I tried one set, and I was already talking to my husband about like, I think I need to be involved with this. and I was like, if nothing else, I need to be like getting a discount because I'm going to be buying a lot of these, I can tell. And so I literally signed up for Color Street for the discount. I had no aspiration. I was like, if I get some free stuff for myself, like that's cool too. But I had no idea. Like it exploded. I had no idea what I was getting into. And I'm sorry.
I said you had no idea how freaking fun this is, right?
Yeah, I had no idea how fun it was going to be. I had no idea how much my business was just going to explode overnight. I mean, it literally went from like, oh, I hope I can figure out how to be cute to like, oh my God, I hit $1,000 in my first month, and like, I think I can do this.
She didn't say how to be cute. She said how to be cute, which stands for bonus qualify, which means sell $300 in nails. Just want to clarify.
Yeah, yes. So, and I loved it, and I shared it with everybody, and it was a great thing to kind of give me. So something they don't really I feel like don't really talk about with military life is that my husband, goes to a new job. He goes to a new space and meets new people when we go to a new base almost right away, and he has his own thing. But every time a military spouse has to leave a base, you basically leave everything and you have to start over. Um, and I mean, I had a full-time job at my last base that I had to give up. I had, and you do that knowing that that's the sacrifice you're going to make. But the
Mhm.
nice thing with Color Street is it's something that's mine, and no matter where I go, I have that. Um,
Yeah,
so it's been a godsend for me. I've always worked from the time I was 16. I've worked two jobs. I've always worked. I've always, I've always been a hard worker. So I just didn't know what to do with not having a job and not. It took me a year to find a job in Japan, and had Color Street come along sooner, I probably wouldn't have even had a full time job, to be honest, because Color Street in itself has become a full time job for me. I'm not working a full time job here because I don't have to. Um, it's
great.
been just such a a great thing for my family, and I still have to laugh. My husband is one of those that when he downloads an app on his phone, he reads out all the terms and conditions before he signs or before he clicks OK. he's um he's very much a like very analytical, very like that's just how he is. And so I had him read the contract for Color Street before I signed up. I was like, I just want to make sure that it sounds okay, that I'm like not getting taken, like that I'm not, missing anything.
Yeah,
So he got halfway through the contract and came out and was like, you need to sign up. You need to sign up yesterday. You need to sign up like 3 weeks ago. Like, you need to get on this like right now. And I was like, okay.
he does
He
that.
said he had
It's
never seen a commission plan like that. He had never seen a commission plan like what Color Street offers. He had never seen anything like that. So he was
incredible.
like, get on this.
Yes, and it's so cool that you, no matter where you guys go, you will always have this awesome job and this fun outlet that lets you, be you.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm like this. I have four kids, and like I've always had a little side job because I needed a distraction from the madness of motherhood.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, it's great. So hop in and or jump in and tell us. Would you mind telling them a little bit about what we were when we were messaging, kind of what you said about after conference, because I think, or before conference, because I think a lot of people will really relate to that.
So, and so I'm going to give you a little kind of lowdown about my numbers. So, um, from the time I started, which was April of not last year, but the year before. So I'm about a year and a half in. Since the first month I started, I have not had 1 month below $1,000 in personal sales, except 1 month I think I hit 950. So I've always been pretty high on personal sales, and I set that goal for myself to maintain that. And we had, and I don't think many people know this, that I literally moved from Japan to England 3 weeks before conference. We didn't have any of our household goods yet, which is all of our furniture and stuff. We were still living out of the 3 suitcases we had been living out of since mid-June. So it was a rough situation anyway. So emotions were running high with that. Um, I had still been active in my VIP group, but my sales were down. I wasn't really having parties. I mean, I was barely bonus qualified going into. I'm not even sure if I was bonus qualified before the Halloween sets released at conference. That might have been what bonus qualified me. And I was so discouraged. I was like, it's the 20th of August, and I'm like, yes, I finally have $350 on. This isn't me. Like, this isn't what my business has been. And I just got very discouraged. I was like, maybe this isn't my journey anymore. Maybe I'm being called to something else. Like, maybe this just isn't my thing. And so going into conference, I was very kind of down on myself. I was feeling very defeated. Um, and so then at the welcome opening, I got a text message from Kay, from Color Street, that basically said, "Hey, we forgot to give you your sash. You need to come back here and get it, so that you can be recognized tomorrow. Thanks." And I was like, "Oh my God."
You, they didn't announce it till you were at conference, right?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's so funny.
So everybody else had gotten their sashes during like picking up their bags,
Yeah, yeah.
at registration. So when I didn't get one there, I was like, oh well, I guess I just didn't push myself enough this year. So goal for next year. And when I got that text, I passed it down to Adriana, my direct upline, and I sent it to her. I handed my phone to her, and she goes, "Oh my God, you have to go get it right now." So I ran down and got it. And I and that just kind of, from there, it just kind of changed my whole view. I and it sounds silly because it's, you're not in it for things like that, but when things like that happen, it really helps. so
But
um so I so that happened, and I was like, I can turn this around. Like I think I can fix this. Um, so I came back from conference, which, by the way, we got a shipment of household goods while I was at conference. So a bunch of furniture and boxes showed up while I was at conference. So that was fun to
good.
come home to. And I came home with probably 5 days left in the month. But because I went back to Ohio before I went back to England, and which is where I'm from, first of all, by the way. Um, and I went back to England, and I told my husband, I was like, this is going to be a long few days, but I think I can fix this month. Like, I think I can do what I need to do. And he goes, okay, like, you do what you got to do. So I had a couple parties going on from the Booking Blitz, which I think we talked about it in the Team Nailed It page, but there was a Booking Blitz at conference where they were trying to get as many bookings as they could. I got 3 or 4 parties booked off of that. They were all like simultaneous, like within, like one right after the other. So I built specialized templates for each of them. So, because I knew I was going to have overlapping people. So that was the first thing I did. I made sure each of them had a different template so that if there were overlaps, they weren't seeing the same thing over and over. It was a template that was specialized to that person. So like I had a girl that was really excited about the Halloween stuff, so I did like a fall template for her. I I had a teacher that was going back to school, so I did like a whole back to school little like 1 hour template for her, which I mean, it basically just consisted of like personalizing a few graphics and setting that up. But they were just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool that you personalized it." So like that little touch like made them happy, which is great. But even with that, my parties were just like not even gaining as much as they usually do. So um, I was unpacking my bags, and I realized I have these fall sets that nobody's seen that we were given at conference.
Mhm.
So I'm going, what do I do with this? So I pulled them out, and I made a post on my page, and I said, I did like a boomerang photo of me with the nails turned to me so they couldn't see what they were, and I just posted, I have fall nails, because everybody knew it was coming anyway. I waited till the end of the month. Everybody knew they were coming. So I was like, I have fall nails coming. I said, I have four styles right now. I have 8 of them total, so 2 of each. So I posted in the comments the shopping links for each of the parties that were having issues. And I said in my post, if you help out one of our VIP sisters by placing an order in their party, a buy 3 get one, then I will let you see the 4 styles that I have, and I will go in order of orders, and you can pick one. So not only did they get that did they get the ability to see them first, but they also got the ability to pick first. So I went from $350 when I got home from conference to ending my month of August with $1,200 in sales. Um,
Wow.
and and it was just from like pushing those parties. I mean, seriously, I mean, all I did, and I tell Adriana all the time, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything different than anybody else is doing, but she's like, no, I think you are. But I was like for me that didn't seem like such a crazy idea, but because part of me wanted to keep those sets for me and like wear them because
Yeah.
I wanted them. But I'm glad I didn't because I mean that's like 4 times the sales in 5 days, just from 8 sets of fall nails.
Yeah, I love that for so many reasons. First of all, I love that you created a little mystery by like showing just the back of the nails and not the actual, you know, color and style. I love that you called them. Well, first of all, you encouraged your other customers to support VIP sisters. That name is genius, by the way. VIP sisters,
Yeah,
like support a sister, help a sister out. And that, that's something I used to do. I haven't done it as much lately, but like I used to post in my VIP group and be like, help a sister out. Like Amy's like needs only, 3 more buy 3, get 1's free. Like who wants to help her out? And people would order. Cause like, I feel like in this generation, like people are more likely to just do something to support someone than necessarily to like buy nails to get a sale for themselves. Like, it's kind of that feel
absolutely.
good, kind of like how Tom's shoes, you buy one and then they donate one. So I love that approach too. Those are both like brilliant, brilliant ideas. And then they like sort of got to earn the chance to see the nails and like get them first. Like that was brilliant on so many levels.
Yeah. Well, so you learn kind of as you go that the kind of the culture of your group. And the culture of my group is definitely that they want what's new, they want what's different, and they want the exclusive. And that's the group that I have. They are very much like if it's something that nobody else can have, they want it even more. I don't know why that is. I mean, it's just how they are. And especially, that's why I do so well with whenever we have a new launch, like it doesn't matter. So piggybacking off of that last thing that I did, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done this because now we're going to turn around and 10 days later have our launch. Like, so, because I knew it was coming on the 10th, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done this because people that bought may not turn around and buy again. And so, what I typically do, and this was something that, again, I learned from the culture of my group. So, my first few launches weren't really getting very many orders. I wasn't seeing a whole lot of excitement around the launches, and but I would have orders placed like later on for these new sets. They just weren't jumping on it right away. So offering I started offering if they did a buy 3 get 1 free that I would send it directly to them instead of including it in my bulk order. So I basically get on and place the order in their name. And it goes directly to them from Color Street. And that was a huge plus for my customers, especially. So for people who don't know, when I order something, it takes me 10 days to get it because of where I'm at. Even when I was in Japan, even being here, it takes 7 to 10 days for me to just receive it, let alone get it back out. So for my customers, it was, oh, I don't have to wait for her to get it first. I had people that were that were doing a buy 3 get 1 just because they wanted to have it sent directly to them. And once I did that once and had great success, that's what I do for my pre-orders, and that's what people know I'm going to do for my launches. That's what and so for launch day, it's a little chaotic for me, but luckily my husband sits on one side, I sit on the other. We have an Excel spreadsheet. I start at the bottom, he starts at the top, and we just meet in the middle. Um, so it usually works out. But that was one way I kind of increased my sales. And this past time, this last launch, I noticed I just wasn't getting very many orders, even, and I had kind of expected that with having just done the sale that I did.
Right.
Um, and before I saw, I think it was there's too many groups. So if this is not was not posted by you, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that you posted something from Brittany Metke about private messaging.
Yes, I did.
So before I saw that, I had started reaching. I started reaching out to customers specifically who you notice who comments on things. You notice who is always on your pre-order sheets. Those names pop up over and over. So I started messaging people who had not really been commenting, who maybe had been on my pre-order list in the past, but I didn't see them on this one. So I just sent it wasn't a super salesy pitch. I just sent them a message and said, for example, hey Allison, I hope the new baby is doing great and I hope mama is getting some sleep. By the way, just wanted to send this to you. I know you're busy. We have our launch coming on on Monday, and I sent the pictures of all four um, of the styles,
Yeah.
and I sent it to her and just said, "Hey, if I can place an order for you, let me know. Hope all is well." And I personalized each message a little bit. So, like
Love
the first line was something specific to them.
you, right.
Um, and I more than doubled my pre-orders just from, and that's something I've never done before. I've never had to go after people for like pre-order stuff, but Facebook algorithms lately, I am very active in my VIP. I post probably 3 or 4 times a day. Just have things scheduled to post or I'm posting. So I have a very active VIP. I have, I mean, I go live, like my algorithm should be good, but I had people who were saying, how have I not seen this on your page? So I was really thankful that I was sending those messages because there were people that were flat out saying that they hadn't seen it. And I know I have in the past said, I'm not going to send messages to people. Like, I'm not that salesperson. Like, I'm not going to be pushy and salesy, and I'm just not going to do that. And but I think there's a way to do it, and I think the way that I did it is a good way to do it to make it so that it's not being salesy. Like some people responded, some people didn't. There were some people that responded and said, "Yeah, I'm just tapped out right now," and I was like, "Girl, I get you. Like I just moved to England. Like I get it."
Like, oh, don't cold message. But to me, that's a warm message because like they're already a cut, they're either in your VIP group because they wanted to be. Like it's not there, or they have ordered in the past, because I ended up doing the same thing, Bethany. Like I ended up doing those personal messages because I wasn't getting as big of a response to my fall pre-order. So then I started personally messaging people, and same with you, like totally tripled my sales just from those one-on-one messages. So it's very powerful. And yeah, sometimes you just have to pivot like that.
Yeah. And I think that I think so for me, I was just doing something that's always worked for me. And that's that same format has always worked. But that roadblock was, all of a sudden I wasn't getting as many comments. Okay, so now what? Like, am I just going to accept that I only have $300 in pre-orders, or am I going to go, okay, so I don't want just $300 in pre-orders. I want $600 in pre-orders. And how can I get there? And so I think it's sometimes what's always worked, you have to take that to the next level. And whether that's sending out a private message, I literally try everything. If somebody posts something and says, "Hey, this worked for me," I'm like, I don't know if that's my speed, but I'm going to try it because
Yeah,
the worst that can happen is I fall on my face and find out that it didn't work, and then I just try something else.
I think it's super important instead of, I think a lot of, new stylists will be like, well, I fell, so this isn't working. Like it's just, maybe I'm just not cut out for it. And I want to I want to encourage everyone to change their perspective to say, instead of just saying this isn't working, to say this way isn't working. Like put the word way in there. This way isn't working. But there are so many different ways. Everything is figure outable. You just have to be willing to try some new things like you did. And on that note of pre-orders, one thing that I learned from that was I am going to keep an ongoing list of all the people that pre-order for me, even if I have to. And that way, because what I did was I pulled up my list for my spring pre-orders and I personally messaged those people. And so now I've got,
Mhm.
people that's pre-ordered in spring, people that are, pre-ordered in fall. And so I'm just going to keep adding to this list of people that I think will be more than happy to get a message from me because they may or may not see my post. So that's one thing I
Yeah.
learned. Yeah, you just have to don't be afraid to try new things like you were saying. And one other thing I want to touch on that you said, Bethany, was I love that you said to like learn from the culture of your group and kind of doing marketing research. Like what you were saying is, your audience is always telling you something, like whether it's your followers on Facebook or Instagram or your VIPs and your customers, they're always kind of like telling you what they like and what they don't like. And sometimes we don't want to listen. Like we just want to be like, no, no, this is what you like. But they're like, no, 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 I like it this way, you know? And
Yes.
so really paying attention to that and looking at, like this week, I was just looking at statistics of what of my personal posts on my like personal wall on my Instagram are doing the best and doing more of that. Rather than me saying, no, this is what I'm going to keep doing just because I want to, or that's my brand. Um, so looking at like those group insights in your VIP group, or like you're saying, like looking at patterns of your group and or your customers and saying, oh, they actually prefer for me to order something for them and have it shipped directly to them, holding
Yeah.
their hand that way. I love that.
Yeah, I so another thing that I did, which was kind of a jump outside my comfort zone, outside the box thing for me, it was so when they were doing the Throwback Thursdays, when Color Street was doing those, they did like two in a row, and then we all kind of expected that they were going to do it that third week, and they didn't. Um, and later that afternoon, I got to thinking, I was like, why don't I just do my own? And my husband goes, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm just going to do my own Throwback Thursday. And he goes, okay. And I said, it's going to be some work, but I think it's going to be worth it. So I just posted in my group and said, hey, would anybody be interested in our own Throwback Thursday? I kind of ran it like a girls' night in. I pulled out all of my retired sets that I had. I pulled nail fees of each of the retired sets that I had, and just kind of every like few minutes, I dropped like a nail fee and said, hey, I have three of these. Who's interested? I dropped an interactive something that was like a throwback, like, hey, give me your favorite 90s band, whatever. And I did that for an hour. And I just dropped like every few minutes, a different retired set that I had, because I keep a ton of stock just because that's how I sold well in Japan. People came to me and wanted to buy from me. So I found that having stock was the way to sell there. I'm finding that maybe that's not the way to go here, but that's okay. I'm figuring it out as I go. um,
From like your customers and your audience. I love it.
for sure. So I dropped those, and the funny thing was, so I ran it at 8 o'clock p.m. Yeah, I think it was like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was I was in England at the time, so that was um, 10, 11, 12. That was like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So I just pre-scheduled everything and I went to bed. and was like, well, we'll see how this goes. I woke up the next morning and had 30 sets sold out of just like a bunch of retired stuff that I had in my stock.
Wow.
Um,
So great.
I could, and I sold them all. I did not offer buy three, get one free on them. I sold them. I just said, hey, so a lot of these are retired, and I didn't get buy three, get one on them. Some of them I like, either bought from other stylists or traded with other stylists to get, and I didn't necessarily get the buy three, get one. So I just said, these are going to be straight, 12, 13, 11, no buy three, get one. And I still sold over 30 sets. And I mean, that was day two of the month of June. I don't remember what month that was. Whenever we were doing the throwbacks, but it came at the perfect time because I was going to turn around and reinvest it, but we actually had some issues getting our money back from the military for our move. So those who are not in the military, we have to put all the money up front to for our flights, for our housing, for our lodging, everything until we find a place. We have to like put our own money out. So my original plan was to put it back into sets, which I did end up eventually turning around and probably investing that much in sets anyway. But right away, I was like, I turned to my husband and was like, I have $300. Like, you want to go do something fun? Because we've been paying bills for the last, we've just been hemorrhaging money for a month. um, and so that was just a great thing and that was another thing, my customers were asking, where's Throwback Thursday? And I was like, Color Street's not doing one. And that's when I was like, I could just do one. So
Yeah,
it's all about just like doing it, I guess.
it is. Right? Yeah, you just like going with the flow and adapting and being creative and trying all sorts of different things. I love this so much. We are out of time. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
Um, I think my biggest thing is I would just say, if what you're doing isn't working, adapt it. It doesn't mean you don't do that anymore. It means that maybe you need another element. Maybe you need to add something to it. Maybe you need maybe you need to just like reconnect with your customers. Because I think sometimes when they're placing their order through an internet site and not necessarily through us, we lose that personal connection sometimes. And I think that is so important, to reading your group, to knowing what they want, to being able to adapt those things. So just, and don't be afraid to try things. Try everything twice, because the first time it may not work, but the second time it might.
I would say try it 3 times because I feel like the first
Yeah.
sucks and you don't know what the heck you're doing. Second time you're like, oh, I'm good. And then third time you're like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I'm starting to get the feel for it, and people start to notice too of what like, oh, okay, this is what she does, or it takes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, like my first 3 Facebook parties, I'd never done a Facebook party before Color Street. My first 3 bombed. Like I think they all sold nothing. Like I think I sold 0.
Oh,
I was like, I'm not giving up. So, yes, I love this message. And thank you so much, Bethany, for waking up so dang early to share it with us. Everyone's loving this.
absolutely.
Someone said, this is fantastic. Great job, ladies. Most relatable live team meeting I've watched. So that is awesome. You guys, comment below and share with us one of your biggest takeaways, what you learned tonight. And thanks for watching. And don't forget to just fail it till you nail it, guys. See you
Yes.
later. Bye.